Hello. Hiya, very. Hi, Gray. Can I get an audio check, please? Can you hear me? Can you hear the game? Anything too loud? Too quiet? Let me know. Sounds good. Alright. And, Gray, I'm sure there's a way. I just saw your DM. Here, wait. I'm sending you... See if this helps. If I gotta do it manually so it goes. I hope not. I hope not. Hi, Kimono. Welcome in. Did you just eat? That's the wrong link. Here, try that. Hopefully it helps. If it doesn't, I'll help you look later too. Did in fact not eat. No, get food. My cats just did the one was tasty. Oh no. Kitties. I did get a second monitor. Let's go. Exciting. It's gonna be so soon. Yeah, how is everybody doing? Alright, we're investigating. That is what we're doing. Got stuck in... She got stuck in the roof? I hope you got her down. There's some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of a disturbance. Yeah, the table's all neat and tidy. Was dislocated my shoulder grabbing the silly goose? No! Be careful. I'll set up and configure the model, so I'm excited because it's starting to feel real. It's very real! It's very real! Let's go! Super exciting. Doing okay, just tired? Welcome in, Epic Pikachu! I'm also tired, that's okay though. We power through together. Maybe! They were super quiet in their scuffle! After all, I didn't hear anything from out in the hallway, you know? Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor throwing us off. Bag. Bloody bag. Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. I know that much, detective. You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? I remember the roof to the kitchen and she went out and the window got stuck above the kitchen. I had to reach over my windowsill to grab her. Oh gosh. Yeah, that sounds like an unpleasant position to be in. Yikes. I'm glad you got her though, and I'm glad you didn't actually dislocate your arm. Normally, I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy... Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? Plastic bags used to store evidence are strewn all over the floor. But... The table is neat and tidy. There's a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table. If I fell, I would have gone through the glass ceiling of the kitchen and been seriously injured. That sounds dangerous. Please do not do that again. Lure the cat back with treats or something. And yet a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not likely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle. In which case, might there not be another explanation as to how they got there? Another reason? I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow. Yeah, that is scary. She couldn't physically get back. I see. I hope you can find a better way to do that than if that ever happens again. Fat, no! I had to grab. It's okay. I'm glad you both are okay. Eee! Please get that blood away from me, pal! Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on this bag? Hold on. Let me ask the lab guy. Alright, please hurry. That's crazy. When will you get a load of this, pal? It's Mr. Faraday's! Oh, and the technician said they didn't find anything else on or in the bag, either. It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence. Okay, if you say so, I leave it in your hands, pal. One of the bags strewn on the floor of lobby number 2 has Faraday's blood on it. Cool. Can I look at the bodies? It looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rell. At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other. However, using logic, the only logical conclusion is... Aha! What was that outburst for? My detective's instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Rell that fell first, see? You don't need a detective's instinct for that. It's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies. Okay. There's a mark here. His hand is all black down here, see? I wonder what it could be. If you look closely, this blotching pattern resembles an ink stain. Mr. Faraday has ink on his left hand. Why is there ink on such a place anyway? Maybe he was writing something, guys. Ink stain? Yes, I usually get ink on my own hand when I use my feather pen. A feather pen? I've never seen one before. Surely you aren't just making it up, pal? Oh, sure you aren't just making it up, pal? Gumshoe. Looks like Mr. Rell died with a knife in his hand. There's some blood stuck on it. Then he must have used this as a weapon. Yep, no doubt about it. Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot some notes about it. I believe Faraday brought this as evidence. It was found in Rell's hand. Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand. So he shot Mr. Rell and then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun. I guess that does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun? I mean, I feel like in his line of work, that's not all too strange. It's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although I doubt I'll ever need to use one. Oh, Edgeworth. Hope I never have to fire a gun either, pal. It sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands. It appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, I should jot down some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand. Was Faraday's evidence from embassy staff killing case. It was found in his hand. Okay. They won't let me look at the body anymore. Oh. Mr. Rell's cause of death was from being shot, correct? That's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him lying face down. Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth. Are you sure they weren't trying to hide something? I can't confirm Mr. Rell's cause of death with his body positioned like that. Thank you for the alert, Gray. Detective Bad, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail, if possible. He's a prosecutor, knowing how to fire a gun isn't much of a stretch, right? That's what I'm saying. What's this? You're not able to form a theory with them the way they are? I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence, don't you? Have you on in the background as I finish up, so I'll be listening. Okay, no worries. Thank you so much for the lurk and good luck. I suppose you do have a point. Well, hurry up and get on with it. Labby. Yes, sir. We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir. And there you have it. Do you not approve? Of course not. What? Investigation of a crime scene is the work of a detective, so don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will you? Oh, okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir. Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you're a detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. Ah, what is this? Pen! There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen. The fountain pen in Mr. Faraday's pocket has an especially nice nib. Okay. Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because Detective Bad is always telling me you should always write your name on everything you own. Yes, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual. I can read. There's a knife wound in his chest here, see? I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rell is holding. Labby. Oh, Labby. Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir? Make it quick. From the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rell is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. Shot in the chest. It takes some guts to fire a gun in a courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week, and I still haven't fired a single round yet. There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean... Wait! Burn marks? A round grows very hot as it is discharged from a firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually left when a shot is fired from point-blank range. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away. Interesting. Rell was fired from a few shots away. Sure know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal. Apparently, this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. What? Let us now try to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. Then he aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory in any case. What a crazy way to go! Still, something about that explanation just doesn't seem right. Notes pertaining to Burn Faraday and Mackerel. I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here. Okay. The window is open, and there's a fresh flowery scent in the air. Ugh! The flowers in the garden down there are so gross and ghastly! Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change? Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the 3rd floor. Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows? No human can climb through these barred windows. The scent of flowers is in the air. Okay. Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right? They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice. And yet someone still died. Whoa! What is it, Detective Gumshoe? My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal. Then perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one. That's crazy. Ooh, let me see here. Wow, this thing is huge. Wow. And way too noisy. You're the noisy one, Scruffy. Don't touch it. You'll get your fingerprints all over it. But I didn't touch it. Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work. The foundation, huh? Sounds like something the rookie here needs to shore up on. That's crazy. Plant. This decorative plant's foliage is quite nice. It's actually soothing to be around it. Perhaps I should purchase one for my room. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, I'm done looking here. Falling from that height would technically be survivable, just pretty unlikely. Yeah, it depends. Depends. Can I not talk to the guy? I guess not. Okay. What do I have here? Let me see. Ink stain and fountain pen. That splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen. Oh, let's ask the lab guy. Everything is just let's ask the lab guy. Detective Gumshoe, I confirm that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen. I see. Good work. You know, I've always wanted to say that, even if it was just one time in my life. Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand. I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed. It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well. Okay, if you say so, pal. Fountain pen used by the left-handed Faraday. Looks like it has a quality nib. I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other. No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there is actually a contradiction that shows there is another possibility. No way, pal! Really? I suppose I will just have to show you the contradiction in this crime scene. Okay. Deduce. Bro is left-handed. Now we will come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet, the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold the gun in his right hand? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene. Hey, you're right, pal. That does seem kind of strange. But how could something like that happen? Aside from the fact that you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, listen, if you gotta use what is there, you know? Because Faraday had the gun, so if Rel only had a knife as his option, it's better than nothing, surely. The facts add up to one conclusion, and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died. Someone else? Plastic bags scattered on the floor, and the gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person of vile intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us. Yippee! Here's the autopsy report. It's probable that Mr. Rel survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from his stabbing. Interesting. Yay! It looks like we now know everything we need to know about this case. Yeah, but the chances of him surviving or both dying are pretty unlikely. Yes, very true. But now we know that the gun was placed here after the crime took place. Are you sure we know everything? Of course! The incident began with Mr. Faraday attempting to get his revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and simple. There's absolutely no margin for doubt. Do you really believe that to be the truth? Huh! Are you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you, that you don't want to believe it's true? It's alright. If you disagree with my argument, then prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is. Don't worry, I will. What happened? Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Rel survived for a short time. From this, it's obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rel. And Mr. Rel, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous. Therefore, he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look for any holes in her theory. Okay. That's correct. From this, it's obvious that... Okay. Press. Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rel before he died. Do you have any basis for that statement? Your foolishness has no end, does it? Now, I hate to repeat myself. However... Quick, Miles, update the autopsy report. True! Dance on her. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. That's all the basis I need. Alright, so if Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, then he must have attacked Mr. Rel before being stabbed. You're finally beginning to catch on, I see. Hold it. So you believe that the dying Mr. Rel stole the knife from Mr. Faraday? Mr. Rel became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they're put to the test. So the two men struggled, and in the end, Mr. Rel was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to their struggle. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound. You really say that it's perfect? What are you insinuating? Nothing. However, I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise, so if you could append that statement to your testimony... Fine. They struggled, and Mr. Rel used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday. Struggle, you say? Okay. Bag. This blood here is from Mr. Faraday, but there are no other clues to be found. Which begs the question, do I need to put this bag inside another bag in order to preserve it as evidence? Yes, Edgeworth. Put the bag in a bag. Pen! It seems Mr. Faraday was in the habit of using very nice fountain pens. That's the total opposite of me! I don't get these things at all! Well, I think the pencil behind your ear suits you just fine. Really? You think so, pal? Man, I knew it was worth something. That wasn't exactly a compliment, Detective. That's so mean. This looks like a quality nib. Hey, let me test it out, pal. Ooh, this is really... Yeah! I got ink all over my hand! Detective Gumshoe, don't ever play with the evidence like that again. Okay. That's not need. Okay. He didn't hear signs of a struggle. Okay. That's what I was looking for. If the two men were fighting, their struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing. Huh, you place too much faith in that detective's testimony, you know? But for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How, then, did Mr. Rell get his hands on the knife? Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It's not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point. So, what you're saying is this. Mr. Rell took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed. Isn't there something strange in Francisca's statement just now? Yeah, something is off. Wait, something doesn't add up. Oh, really? It's simply not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed. Okay, yes, this. Take that! According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not possibly have fired the gun after that. Ooh, you got me. But of course. Well then, if the report is correct, then there is only one correct explanation. If we suppose that Mr. Rell attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been unable to kill Mr. Rell. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot. Then they both died. That is the only explanation that makes logical sense. You're getting your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying, Francisca. I just wanted to explain it to you as simply as possible. Before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could. How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid, and still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francisca, you've still got a ways to go. What are you talking about? Are you saying there's a flaw in my logic? Mr. Faraday died instantly, and the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. The contradiction here in this crime scene is... The order the bodies fell. Let me get this straight. What you are arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rell. Then, the wounded Mr. Rell found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot and Mr. Rell died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look at the order in which their bodies are piled. No! Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday. Impossible! Yes, I agree it seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the... Huh? Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene that we must solve is... No! Not so fast, Miles Edgeworth! What now? I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. And that it's even clearer now that this incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent. She sure bounced back quickly. An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong. What happened, part 2? It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rell's. The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order. That's crazy. I just know that Francisca's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in her logic. Once I do, I can then present her with the evidence that proves the contradiction. Rell was shot from a couple yards away, bro. Let's calm down. Do I just present it, though? I'm gonna save. present.
Objection!
What? What? You have to press it first. Re. Okay. Press.
Hold it!
What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time? I assume Mr. Faraday had the two different weapons in his hands. He made to attack Mr. Rel, while holding both the knife and the revolver. And then, after Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Rel grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. That is how Mr. Rel wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. At close range, that is more than possible. Yes, it's possible, but... Well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got. Oh, I will. And to that extent, I'd like for you to append what you just said to your testimony. I don't see any point to that, but as you please. Okay. That fact indicates that they attacked each other at the same time from close range. There we go. Okay. I see, I see.
Objection!
Not the wink. So you believe they killed each other at close range? Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it's written in the crime scene notes, the firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Rel's clothes. Therefore, Mr. Rel and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards. Ah! Yes, this is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. And with there being no chance that Mr. Rel moved that far after being shot, that leaves only one possible explanation. What a completely foolish line of foolish thought from a thoroughly foolish fool! If I'm not right, then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh? Who? The person that attacked first with murderous intent. That would be neither man. Here in this room, contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can only be one explanation. There was a third person here. It was the third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel, and set their bodies up to make it look like a double murder. That third person is the real culprit. Miles Edgeworth, there's just one thing you're missing. Evidence, correct? Exactly. Everything you've said up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head. The classic third-person argument. It works every time. However, this is where the real test begins. Can you prove that there was a third person involved in this crime? Of course. If a third person was truly here, that fact would resolve the glaring contradiction. The proof that this has all been a setup, made to look like they killed each other. I'll present it, and lay bare the final piece of the puzzle that is not yet in place. What is this piece of evidence that proves there's a third person involved? Can I save, please? Messy plastic bags. Maybe.
Take that!
Aha! The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand and the plastic bag with his blood on it. These two items point to the presence of a third person. How so? Recall Detective Gumshoe's testimony. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground, meaning that someone else must have deliberately scattered them around. Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun for a moment, there's a high probability of blood splatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held the knife with a plastic bag around it, they could use the bag to catch any blood splatter from when they withdrew the knife. Then, by spreading on a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal their presence. Ah! Plastic bag. Looks like we've still got a long way to go in this investigation. Yes. Judge is so angry.
What the heck's up with you, pal?
Mr. Bad, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest.
What?
What's the meaning of this? Huh! Looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates.
Don't you dare.
That detective claims he was there, standing in front of the door the entire time. But I have it on good authority that that was all a giant lie.
It's you. I ask that you please explain that last statement.
I'll let his honor explain it himself.
I saw it with my own eyes, I tell you. During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the hallway. What?
See, Mr. Bad? So I ask you, why would a detective who is supposedly doing his job the whole time want to fabricate such a lie?
Gumshoe, did you kill Faraday?
No! Of course not, sir! It would appear that the one who set this whole crime scene up is that detective, which basically renders his testimony a complete lie and wholly invalid. It looks like your perfect logic has just come tumbling down, Miles.
I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. Is that statement really a lie? Detective Gumshoe, you're now a suspect in the murder of 2 men. Now spit out the truth or so help me.
I haven't lied to anyone, sir. Honest. I really was there. I was in the hallway the whole time. Not Gummy. He's so sad.
Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I am the one that is heading up this investigation, am I not? Don't talk like you know what's going on, boy. All I want is for this investigation to run perfectly.
Perfection is the only wish of a disciple of Von Karma, after all.
Therefore, before you take Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something. And what's that? What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about?
The state of the hallway.
Detective Gumshoe, I take it that no one else was in the hallway at any time, correct?
Huh? Of course not, pal!
You're being awfully defensive. Might you be hiding something from me?
Watch your mouth, pal! You can't go around saying stuff like that about me without any evidence!
I suppose you're right. I have no evidence at this point.
Miles Edgeworth, how could you be losing a battle of wits with this detective? You're a disgrace!
Ugh. Maybe I should ask about something else.
Why? What is your motive, buddy?
I suppose the one thing I'd like clarified is Detective Gumshoe's motive for committing this crime. Motive, huh? Gumshoe, you got a grudge against Faraday or anything?
No, sir! Not me! Not a single bad thing against Mr. Faraday, sir!
Is that a fact?
Objection!
You really have a problem with lying, don't you, Detective Gumshoe?
I'm telling you, I'm not lying!
The more unnatural you act, the more suspicious you become, you know. If you want a motive, Edgeworth, I have one for you right here.
Could you please share it with us? However, be forewarned that I won't hesitate to object to flights of fancy, because all I'm interested in is the perfect explanation.
You're serious, aren't you? Fine, you amuse me, so I'll humor you with a little courtroom practice. Get her, Edgeworth. Gumshoe's motive. It was about a week ago. I saw the detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the precinct. He stood there super pale as Mr. Faraday yelled, "That's a salary cut for you, you nitwit." A brand new detective suddenly getting his salary cut? That's reason enough for a grudge. Well, how's that for the perfect explanation?
But what about Rel?
You totally misunderstand me, pal. No matter how mad I get, I could never hold a grudge.
Quiet. We can't trust anything you say.
Sir.
There's nothing wrong with the motive she proposed, per se. But there are some gaps in her logic that need to be filled in. Misused perfect explanation may not be so perfect after all.
Let's go. Okay. Rest.
Hold it!
You just stood there, watching this unfold in front of you.
Yeah, I have to say it was really enjoyable too. But that's why when I saw Detective Gumshoe earlier, I knew to steer clear of him. No way! I thought it was because I had something stuck on my face! But you do! Huh? What have I got stuck on my face? Let's start with your eyes, nose, and mouth. Oh, and those ridiculous eyebrows. Huh? Oh man! Messing with your head is just too much fun.
Miss Yu, if you don't mind, I'd like to return to your testimony now.
Sure, why not?
Hold it!
To cut a new detective's salary right off the bat like that.
I'm not really familiar with the way you guys relate, but is that a common practice?
Speaking of cutting my salary, didn't you threaten to do that to me earlier too? I suppose I did.
Down with you. It's only natural to cut a worthless detective's salary down to their actual worth. My father can even fire anyone, new or old, with the snap of his fingers. Do you think maybe that's a reason enough for detectives to hate you people?
Well, I guess they really shouldn't cut people's pay. Detective Bad, don't tell me. Mr. Von Karma cut your salary earlier.
That's crazy! No!
Hold it!
Mr. Faraday was upset.
Yeah, you know what else? Mr. Faraday isn't exactly known to get angry often. But there he was, totally beat red in the face. And the offending detective just stood there, pale as a ghost, like he was about to die. Just like the face he's making now, right?
I'm completely innocent, I tell you. The poor man.
It was quite the scene with the detective.
Hold it!
A week ago, then you and Detective Gumshoe were acquaintances.
No way. I only met him in person today.
Then how did you know about Detective Gumshoe?
Oh, I've seen him around before.
Okay.
Hold it!
You call your explanation perfect.
Is it not to your liking?
Unfortunately for you, it's not just up to my standards.
Oh? Is there something you want me to clarify in that case?
What should I do? Should I raise an objection?
Yes, sir.
Alright, if you could clear this one thing up for me.
Save? Okay. How Mr. Faraday was killed, motive for killing Mr. Rell. Aha.
I understand Detective Gumshoe's potential motive for killing Mr. Faraday. However, what about his motive for killing Mr. Rell?
His motive for killing Rell? Like I would know.
If there was no clear motive for both of the murders, then I doubt this incident would have occurred, wouldn't you agree? Is there anyone else who might have had a grudge against either of the two men? Or should we look into that ourselves?
Oh. In that case, I have absolutely no idea.
What? But that's impossible. She must know something.
Wait. Can you please not glare at me like that? It makes me laugh.
I didn't even do anything and you're already laughing away.
Well, anyway, the way I see it, as long as he had a motive to kill one of the two, this crime would have played out the way it did anyway.
Would you care to explain your logic? And this time, please try to provide a truly perfect explanation.
Perfect this, perfect that. Stop being so uptight. Or is that a requisite trait for being a Von Karma? Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you shut this rude woman up.
I wish you'd both be quiet for just 1 second.
Oh well, I guess I'll just have to explain it to you kids. Oh gosh. Motive to kill the men. There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. All you really have to establish is that someone had a grudge against one of the two men. Mr. Rell, who happened to be there, became a witness to Mr. Faraday's murder. Therefore, he was killed out of necessity and set up to look like they had killed each other.
Wonder if that's really true. Is there no one out there with a grudge against both men? We should take another hard look at the evidence for this morning's case. The second KG-8 incident, as people are calling it, involving an embassy staff member, and the two men who both wound up as suspects in the case. Is there someone else I'm overlooking who is somehow related to them? Oh.
Where's my evidence? Adobe and embassy staff member Manny Cochin found not guilty. Okay. My mentor was never known defeat in 35 years. A legendary prosecutor. Look at him. Oh, the rendering is crazy. Prosecutor of the KG-8 incident stabbed to death with a knife in lobby number 2. Canadian embassy staff member was gunned down in front of the embassy by Rel. Embassy staff killing suspect. He was killed in lobby number 2 with a handgun. Real identity is unknown, but claims to be a noble thief, infiltrated the embassy. A girl with a balloon. During the recess, she asked me to change some coins for her. Judge and embassy staff killing case testifies no one was in the hallway for a short time. New working detective at the precinct first crime scene seems very enthusiastic. Lawyer of embassy staff killing defendant Rel. I was to battle her in court. Eagle-eyed homicide debt. Was called in to be an expert witness on the Yatagarasu case. Kodopian embassy staff member. He was the suspect in the KG-8 incident. My mentor's daughter, studying to be a prosecutor in Germany, back on break. She's 13. She's a baby. Okay. Would Manny have a grudge against Faraday? Yes, he tried to convict him. Against Rel, though? I don't think so. Also, 24 is crazy. Mans looks very old.
Hold it.
So there's no one else who might have a grudge against both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel.
I suppose no one is a bit of a stretch, but I'm pretty sure no one like that was here in this courthouse today.
She's lying through her teeth. We just saw someone like that here earlier.
Besides, you don't need to prove that the killer had a grudge against both men. Okay, so it's this one for sure.
Oh!
Present.
Objection.
Miss Yu, I believe there is someone you overlooked in making your statement. Or rather, is it because you'd rather not bring this person up?
What do you mean?
We are looking for someone with a reason to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel. I can think of at least one person that fits the bill. He was the suspect in the original KG-8 incident, and a member of the Kodopian embassy staff, Mr. Manny Cochin. That's right, the very man who came to visit you earlier out in the hallway. The man who killed a member of the Kodopian embassy staff, Mr. Rel, and the man who was the lead prosecutor of the KG-8 incident, Mr. Faraday. Are you telling me that Mr. Cochin had no reason at all to kill both of these men?
Well, I suppose he might have a reason or two.
You covered for me, pal! Maybe you're not such a bad guy after all. Don't get ahead of yourself. You're still a suspect.
Ah!
Still a suspect, make no mistake about that. The perfect evidence, the perfect testimony. These are the only things I wish to hold.
But I didn't do it!
You will stay under my authority and go investigate Mr. Manny Cochin for me. And remember, you want to investigate Cochin, you just be wasting your time. And why's that? Cochin was up in the viewing gallery watching the trial, or so I was told. Every cop in this place has been keeping an eye on the guy since he arrived.
Then the only real suspect we have is still Detective Gumshoe.
I suppose so.
No way! Come on, Detective Pad, you gotta believe in me, sir. I really was in that hallway the whole time, sir. I never took a single step into this room, sir.
Okay, then are you saying there was someone else who passed through the hallway?
No, there was no one else, sir.
Then why should I believe you didn't do it?
That is one incredibly foolish detective. Standing right in front of a crime scene all by himself. It's as good as a confession of guilt.
I have to admit it's a bit strange. Most criminals will fabricate some sort of lie to escape their crimes. And if that detective really wanted to prove that he is innocent, You'd think he would at the very least offer up an "I spaced out while on duty" or the like. Come on, Gumshoe. It's time for your interrogation. Detective Bad.
No! Miles Edgeworth, I will go on ahead and report this to Papa.
And that, as they say, is that. Right, everyone? Ho, ho, ho.
Well, I suppose we should both be getting back to our real jobs now, huh?
Before we do, Miss Yu, there is something I'd like to speak with you about.
What is it? Okay. So, what do you want to ask me about?
KG-8 incident. The current case of the murdered Cadopian Embassy staff member. I've heard that people have begun calling it the second KG-8 incident.
Only among you law enforcement types. And what about it?
I'd like for you to tell me everything you know about the original KG-8 incident.
I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't know anything beyond what was reported in the papers.
No, I believe you do know much more, since you are directly tied to the KG-8 incident.
I'd appreciate it if you'd stop with the false accusations. Baseless outbursts are useless both inside and outside the courtroom, don't you know?
I do, but I also know that I do have a leg to stand on here.
Think you could stop making that ultra-serious face in front of me?
Grr. If you could please stop laughing for just 1 second. I'm not going to make any headway like this. I'm just going to have to show her exactly how related to the KG-8 incident she is.
Take that!
Miss Yu, I believe that I have proof of your connection to the KG-8 incident.
That file is your proof? Very well then. Why don't you tell me exactly how I'm related to the KG-8 incident? Through the victim!
Your connection to the KG-8 incident is through the victim. The victim's name is CCU. You will note that she has the same last name as you. Can you really tell me with a straight face that you are not related to this case?
Sorry, but we're not related. Just kidding. You asked that question with such a serious look on your face that I couldn't help but...
Miss Yu, I ask that you please tell me the truth.
Alright, I'll tell you everything I know. Yippee! As you guessed, the one who reported the smuggling activities of the Amano group was my sister, CCU.
As I thought.
And she was killed right before she was to testify at the impending trial. By Manny Cochin. But because he was tried once and was acquitted, he gets to live out the rest of his cushy life completely carefree.
All because of a lack of evidence.
No, I heard the evidence to convict him did exist.
What?
I heard it from Mr. Faraday himself after Mr. Cochin's trial was over. Apparently a man in black made off with the most important piece of evidence.
Then the evidence had been tampered with.
Isn't it just like a criminal to do something like that? The smuggling ring being run out of the Amano group by one of its secretaries. They bailed Mr. Cochin out. Turns out they were in league with each other all along.
How big was that smuggling ring? Was it a large operation?
I don't really know. Which is why I wanted to become the lead defense on this case that people are calling the second KG-8 incident. But I haven't learned anything new at all. I was probably expecting too much, I know.
You mean you think this case has nothing to do with the smuggling ring?
I don't know what to think.
Why did Mr. Cochin want to meet with you earlier?
Actually, he came to watch the trial. Apparently, he only found out that I was the defense lawyer on this case after he'd arrived. He figured he should say hi, and one other thing. Looks like you couldn't resolve anything this time either. Too bad.
What is that supposed to mean?
Oh boy, stop it with the scary face already. I'm fine, really. I gave him a good slap across the face.
The way she talks about slapping it as she laughs away is kind of creepy.
But it's just as Mr. Bad said. He's not related to the double murder. I asked around, and people in the gallery claimed that he was in his seat the entire time. Talk about cruel fate. Well, this is about all I know. Sorry. Guess I wasn't much help, huh?
That's not true. I'm sorry I made you recall such a painful time in your life.
Edgeworth, you really are too serious for your own good. You really need to learn to relax. We wouldn't want you to die of stress, would we?
Thank you for the advice, but there's no need to worry. I work in my own way, and I will catch this criminal in my own way as well. You'll see.
Look at you with your game face on, ready to go.
I'm making no such face.
Did you know? Laughter is the best medicine, Edgeworth. Don't you get tired of making such a serious face all the time?
I'm charged with making sure that all the criminals of this world are found guilty. I have no need for laughter.
There you go, making that face again. Oh well, I've got to get going. I still have a few loose ends I need to tie up.
KG8 incident and this murder investigation. It is my belief that these two cases are related to each other somehow. Plus, that detective, Detective Gumshoe. It's obvious he's lying, even though the lie is hurting his chances. Clearly, this case is far from over. But whether or not that detective is the murderer will be determined once I've completed my perfect investigation. Mr. Von Karma, I swear to uphold your honorable name, or my name isn't Miles Edgeworth.
Let's go. We will save, but we will continue.
Sir, what is to become of the trial into the Cadopian Embassy staff member's murder? Indeed, since both the subject and the prosecutor are now dead. The case will be dismissed. In other words, the trial ends here prematurely.
Looks like you'll just have to wait a bit longer for your big debut.
I suppose it can't be helped. Evidence for this trial will be transferred to you in a little while. Sir, what do you think about the murder of the Cadopian Embassy staff member, and the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell? What an outrageous circus it has all become. That Faraday brought it all upon himself with his naivety. An outrageous circus? Right, sir. We're weary of this topic, Edgeworth. I will have you assigned to a different case.
Papa, you'll come and watch my courtroom debut next, won't you?
I'll consider it. Sir, if I may, please allow me to continue with my investigation. Whatever for? I know that there is already a suspect in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. However, there is not enough evidence to prove that it was he who committed the crime. I'd like to continue investigating in order to find the perfect proof of his guilt. The perfect proof? Don't make me laugh. A worthless person like you has no right to claim such a thing as perfection.
That's crazy. Papa? Who do you think is the real culprit behind these murders? Miles and I were competing to see who could find the real killer first. Plus, being able to investigate a real crime scene is a really rare opportunity.
Yeah, rude is... That's putting it mildly.
It would give us some real-life experience, wouldn't you agree?
You want to investigate this case that much, then do as you wish. Then you're allowing us to continue. Court, your top priority is to win, and a solid investigation is one of the keys to winning. We have to make sure that you become recognized as a first-rate prosecutor, don't we? Wouldn't be very interesting otherwise. I'm returning home now. Edgeworth, Francisca, see to it that I'm not disturbed, save for the results of your competition.
Bro wants to know who wins.
Yes, sir.
Of course, Papa.
Francisca, thank you.
What are you thanking me for? Your logic earlier was built on that scruffy detective's lie. That means that the competition is still on.
Yes, just as you wished.
I couldn't let you get off so easily. Now then, let's see how well you fare on the investigation from here, Miles Edgeworth.
No, I don't have enough information yet, so my first order of business will be to question anyone involved with this case.
Alright. Miss you.
Miss you.
Oh, it's you, Edgeworth. And who are you? Wait, you were at the crime scene just now, weren't you? You should be disbarred for not knowing who I am. I am Francisca Von Karma, and I'm about to become the successor to the family name. About to? I guess that means that for now, you're still just another kid. In which case, it's only natural that I didn't know who you are.
Why are you whipping me?
Anyway, it looks like they're planning to hold the evidence a bit longer. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's waiting.
Terribly sorry, but I have a few more questions to ask of you.
Look at you. Eyebrows scrunched with lines on your forehead. And that to ask of you.
What exactly is so funny?
Sorry, I'm just bad at dealing with a super serious atmosphere. It's not even a real whip yet. Yeah, it's a little riding crop. It's so cute.
Apparently, they failed to teach you proper behavior at a crime scene in law school.
I feel so much better now. So, what is it you wanted to talk about?
I'd like to inquire as to where you were at the time of the murder.
We were in the defendant lobby number 1 the whole time up until we heard the gunshot. And by we, I mean Mr. Bad. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him yourself.
You were with Detective Bad. Why?
We had a little something to discuss, that's all.
So I take it that you were acquaintances with Detective Bad.
Yeah, he was the detective in charge of the KG-8 incident.
Detective Bad is also related to that incident?
That's right. He was the one who was supposed to protect my sister, Cece. But you know how that turned out, don't you, Edgeworth? Miles Edgeworth, I have no idea what you two are talking about. I've heard of the KG-8 incident from my papa. But how does that case relate to you, Miss Yu? The victim of that case, Cece Yu, was my little sister. You're making that super serious face again. Francie wants to know too, don't leave her out. I'm fine, really. I just make it a point to rub some more salt in his wounded pride every time I see him.
The way she talks about doing that as she laughs away is kind of creepy.
Oh, speaking of Mr. Bad, he and Mr. Faraday, I'd say they met up just about every single time the Yatagarasu made a move. It was practically a given that the two would meet up at every one of the crime scenes.
I see. He did mention that he was in charge of the Yatagarasu investigation earlier.
Apparently witness protection doesn't exist in this world. Exactly.
Maybe I should ask her what she knows about the Yatagarasu in more detail. You claimed that at the time of the murder, you were with Detective Bad.
But don't you lawyers usually discuss the trial with your clients during a recess? We do, and that's what I was planning to do. But Mr. Faraday was being rather threatening, and he dragged Mr. Rell away. After that, Mr. Bad came into lobby number 1, so we just stayed there and talked.
And what did you talk with Detective Bad about?
Nothing interesting. I just insulted him some. Talked about how the trial was going, and then I insulted him some more.
Bloody. When she's not laughing, her mouth seemingly spews nothing but insults.
Anyway, Mr. Bad and I were in defendant lobby number 1 when the murders occurred. So I really can't tell you anything about the hallway or lobby number 2.
I see. I'd like to ask you a few questions about your client, Mr. Macrell. Now, your client first claimed to be the Yatagarasu, is that correct?
Yeah. Once I heard that it was the Yatagarasu that had made off with the evidence from KG-8, I began to ask Mr. Rell all sorts of questions, but to no avail. Turns out Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu. He just made that up.
Made it up.
Mr. Rell's crime was caught on tape by the security cameras, but there's no footage of him sneaking into the Cadopian embassy itself. Hold on for just a second. Then you mean to say that you knew that he was not the real Yatagarasu? And that he was just another cold-blooded killer? And you were ready to defend him? Yes, that's right.
I see. So a defense lawyer is actually just someone whose job is to cover for criminals.
That's why defense lawyers are so detestable, but they're no match for us Von Karmas. I don't believe it. You're serious. Why don't you save that face for something really worth being serious about? And Edgeworth, do you remember what I said earlier? I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG-8 incident, alright?
And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer.
Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rell was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to.
I'm sorry. Forgive my rashness.
Okay.
Miss Yu, I was wondering if you could tell me more about the Yatagarasu.
The Yatagarasu, huh? I don't really know much about that character myself, but I do get a lot of consultation requests from companies to defend them.
Requests from companies?
The Yatagarasu isn't some petty thief out for money, you know. Alright then, perhaps the Yatakarasu is in the business of stealing people's lives. You're not very funny or witty, are you, Little Miss Von Karma? Grrr.
Francisca, be careful about who you whip. Choose carefully, or we may be sued by— Oh!
There, I chose carefully, just like you wanted. That just now was hilarious, little missy. Of course it was.
What is wrong with these two women? Why does my pain give them delight?
And so, in the end, what is the Yatakarasu? I have to say, I had never even heard of this thief when I was in Germany. The Yatakarasu deals in information, namely in digging out dirt about backroom dealings and the like of companies. The Yatakarasu is a vigilante who steals such info and then makes it public for all to see. Vigilante or not, this person sounds just like another criminal to me. I suppose you could put it that way too. But either way, I get a lot more clients now thanks to that thief.
Sounds like Miss Yu is profiting nicely. I suppose I've gotten all I can out of Miss Yu. I should move on and speak with Detective Gumshoe now.
Yippee!
Detective Gumshoe. Hey, it's you, pal. You're here.
Ouch! As am I.
I don't think you needed to whip him to let him know that.
I didn't do it, pal. I swear on my honor as a detective, I really didn't.
Your words are useless. I place my trust only in the evidence, Detective. Once the investigation is fully over, and should we find out that you are the killer, there will be no mercy to be had for you.
Have a heart, pal.
But you are not worried, right? After all, you have nothing to worry about if you really are innocent, that is.
That's right. Hey, pal, go and do your perfect investigation and get the real killer for me, will you?
I would have done so even if you had not requested me to, Detective. So you and Mr. Faraday had a small meeting last week, did you? And what exactly did you do to make him so angry?
I just asked Detective Bad the same thing myself, pal. Turns out he was mad at me because on my very first day as a detective, I reported in at my usual post instead of the Criminal Affairs Department. By the time I got down to Criminal Affairs, I was really, really late. And that's when he gave me the huge speech.
I remember doing the same exact thing in elementary school. On the first day of school every year, I'd always wind up going to my old classroom.
How pathetic for the detective to be comparable to a mere schoolchild.
That's crazy.
You claim to be standing guard in front of the door to lobby number 2 during the recess. However, when did you receive the order to do so, and from whom?
Earlier, at around 3:20, and from Detective Bad, pal. Today's trial took a really crazy turn, so I was told to make sure nothing happened to Mr. Faraday.
And yet, something did happen to him, correct? It looks like it was a total waste of manpower to assign you to guard duty.
Ow! Your words sting worse than your whip, pal.
So it was Detective Bad who ordered him to stand guard, huh? Now then, Detective Gumshoe, is there anything else you'd like to tell me?
Nope, not a thing, pal.
In that case, allow us to take a look at what you were carrying on your personage.
Ah, wait! You can't do that!
There's nothing of any particular value here.
Well, my handcuffs and badge were confiscated by Detective Bad, so, you know.
And what is that open envelope I see sticking out of your coat pocket?
Ah! Hands off, pal!
Just show it to us already.
Yow!
Dick Gumshoe bonus!
Annual bonus check within $5 total, except there's no check inside.
You've had your look, now give it back, pal! It's my first bonus as a brand new detective! I just got it and cashed it today. I had literally no cash on me up until I did, you know. So that envelope is really special to me. Now give it back!
You don't need rubbish like this. Don't worry, we'll throw it away for you later.
How could you?
Detective Gumshoe's annual bonus of $5 literally had no money on him until he cashed this.
I'm sorry, but I need to take him in for questioning now. I think I've asked him just about everything I needed to. No, wait. Since he became a suspect, there is a piece of evidence I should reconfirm. Officer, I ask that you wait a second. I still have one thing I'd like to reconfirm with Detective Gumshoe.
Understood, but please make it brief, sir.
I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. I must confirm whether or not his testimony about when the crime occurred is the truth. It's a bookshelf. What's this? Judge's Trial Exchange Log. It appears to be a journal where the various judges share their thoughts and ideas. The real daily lives of the judges are laid out here on these pages.
There's nothing about the court in here. It's just page after page of unrelated drivel.
Judging by the content, they are very enthusiastic about the courthouse's daily menu, and it would appear that fried oysters are a favorite.
I have no use for such foolishly foolish words from the foolishly foolish crowd.
Someone please assure me that this is not the true state of the country's judiciary.
That's crazy. Present. Where's Gumshoe's testimony?
You told me earlier that you heard no sound other than the gunshot out in the hallway. Is that correct?
No mistake about it, pal.
Then you are also claiming that no one passed through the hallway either. Is that also correct?
Yep, not a single ant passed through that hall while I was on duty.
You do realize that the lie you're telling is only making life more difficult for yourself.
Huh? Oh. But it's true! I didn't see anyone go through the hallway, and I didn't hear anything else, pal. I mean, the killer found a way to kill the two guys that's beyond what I can even imagine.
So he intends to continue telling this ridiculous lie. But why would he do so, given the situation he's in? I believe a thorough investigation of the hallway in front of the defendant lobbies is in order.
Is baby?
Ah! You! Go!
How could you have not noticed that coming?
Wasn't that the child I changed money for earlier?
Thanks! That's exactly what I needed.
Kids can sometimes be so cruel.
It looks like she dropped something. Swiss roll, baby girly, yes. Swiss roll dropped by the mysterious young girl. Says courthouse special on it. Maybe we should arrest the girl. She might turn out to be a valuable lead.
I believe some sort of punishment may need to be dealt with the next time we meet. May need to be dealt. I believe I've asked all that I need to of this man. Now for Detective Bad and the judge.
We have to confirm who's correct, the judge or that scruff face, right? I suppose we should inspect the hallway in front of lobby number 2 next then.
I suppose so. Shall we head on over, Francisca?
Let's go. Oh, that's the wrong way.
So, you didn't see anything else?
No, I don't think so.
I see. Well, thanks for your cooperation.
Oh, it's nothing.
Just doing my duty as a defender of the law.
That'll be all for now. I'll ask again if I have any other questions.
Anytime, Detective. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a few loose ends I have to tie up. Oh, you're that new prosecutor Mr. Von Karma recommended, right?
My name is Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor.
And I'm Manfred Von Karma's daughter, Francisca Von Karma. I'm set to become the successor to my genius father any day now, Your Honor.
I see. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by... Huh? Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Von Karma, Miles Edgeworth, and Miss... I bit my tongue.
Are you alright, Your Honor?
Please feel free to refer to me as just Miss Von Karma, Your Honor. As for him, just Edgeworth is fine.
Apparently somebody doesn't feel that I'm worthy of a proper title.
Oh, very well then. I shall call you Miss Von Karma and Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth.
Your Honor, Mr. Edgeworth is fine, sir. Now about your earlier testimony...
Yes, what about it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I would like to ask you a few questions about what exactly you saw.
All right. After all, it is my duty to clarify my testimony as a defender of the law.
I greatly appreciate your cooperation, Your Honor. Now, the first thing I will need to do is figure out that detective's exact movements.
Yippee! But let's look around first.
Have you found any suspicious fingerprints, officer?
Nope. Just the fingerprints of those involved with the case, sir.
I guess we know all the players in the case then, huh?
It would appear that way, but I have the nagging feeling that we're missing something. And I suspect that what we're missing is hiding right here in this crime scene somewhere.
He's making a most ridiculous looking face.
That may be, but at least he doesn't look like someone who would tell a lie on purpose.
I suppose, but to a Von Karma, evidence is the only thing that carries any weight.
Of course. At any rate, this poster seems to be of no use to us right now. Did you find something, officer?
Hey, it's a $5 bill back there.
Come on, just a little more. Is there no one working this crime scene who isn't a total waste of living tissue?
Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a single person we could deem useful here.
That's crazy. It would appear that this vending machine sells snacks and various other foods. A vending machine that sells courthouse special goods. A few sweet items are for sale. Beef jerky and hot dogs and ham sandwiches are not sweet, but okay.
Just lovely. What will they think of next?
Don't be a jerk and court like these beef jerks. One packet for $9. Defendant's fresh milk. What? 1/2 pint for $7. Stay neutral is a Swiss stew until the end with these for $6. They're awfully overpriced.
The lineup is simply awful. Period.
Speaking of snacks, I wonder if that Swiss roll the little girl dropped is from this machine.
I was wondering about that myself.
The prices are horrible.
Stay neutral as the
stay neutral as the Swiss stew until the end with these. The end of what?
Well, I assume it means the end of the trial. I suppose this means that one should eat these during a recess.
You can't eat during a trial, so I suppose the only time you can eat them is now, huh?
I wouldn't mind if you wanted to eat one now. They come in packs of 2 after all.
We're in the middle of an investigation. Besides, I don't have $6 on me.
If you want, we can pool our money and buy a pack together.
No, they're poor. If I have to split it with you, then I don't want it. That's crazy. Share.
Defendant's fresh milk. What exactly is that supposed to mean?
I bet it means that the milk is freshly milked by various defendants on trial right now.
No, I think it might mean that this was milked right here from the various defendants.
Miles Edgeworth, you can't possibly be serious.
Of course not.
That's crazy. Sheriff Ramsey, the sibling interaction is too cute. I know, it's so wholesome.
When it's looking bad, blind your opposition with some OJ. Are they promoting violence?
Don't worry, my whip will make sure that anybody following this advice won't be for long.
Compared to the sting of a whip, the sting of orange juice may not be so bad. When you're in hot water, you may need a hot dog. It looks like this slogan was decided through a public contest, and the winner was Prosecutor Winston Payne.
What a pathetic slogan. No presents at all. Now, if it was up to me, it would read, if you leave matters in a Von Karma's hands, everyone in court will be found guilty dogs. Overruled. That's crazy. Milked from the defendants. That got dark quick. It's weird. It's whack.
Don't be a jerk in court like these beef jerks. I see.
Miles Edgeworth, wouldn't you agree that it's a very clever pun?
Do you really think they put that much effort into the product name?
Even a foolish fool could understand the foolish thinking of the fool who made it up. You're acting so foolishly that I got so thoroughly mad that I am now utterly famished.
If you wanted a pack of these, all you had to do was ask like a normal person. Don't let the prosecution and defense make a ham sandwich out of you.
Sounds like it's directed at the ham of a judge. Why is beef jerky more expensive than a whole hot dog? I know, the prices are so weird. Would you rather have a hot dog or a glass of milk?
Well, it certainly isn't directed at me. I can outmaneuver him any day.
That's crazy. Is that all I can look at here? That's so funny. Yippee!
I can look outside. However, I doubt the killer could have escaped through here.
Of course not. This is the 3rd floor after all.
It appears that bars were installed on this to prevent people from falling out.
Bars? What bars?
Can you not see them from your vantage point?
No, she's tiny.
I must remember not to bring up that taboo subject again.
I wonder if anyone has counted how many times Francisca says some iteration of the word fool in these games. I'm sure someone has.
What is this? It's a pink-colored piece of trash made of rubber.
Piece of pink trash found on the windowsill of the hallway window, made of rubber.
I feel that I've seen something like this before.
Well, all I see is a piece of garbage. But you know, the fact that there's a litterer running loose inside this courthouse is simply unforgivable.
It's not like it was I who littered.
Rubbish belongs in a rubbish bin.
Okay.
What's the matter?
I pricked myself on one of this cactus's needles. I didn't think the needles on this thing would be so sharp.
Well, what did you expect? Can you imagine how bad it would be if you were hit on the head by one of these? Anyway, this cactus seems to be unrelated to our case.
Do you really think so? Because I believe that this cactus sitting on this windowsill is completely related.
Potted cactus sitting on the hallway windowsill. Its needles are dangerous. Oh, well then, I look forward to your explanation on how exactly it's related.
Ants. The ants are hard at work carrying their food home. It's a marvel that they can pick up such comparatively large objects to their size.
Well, if you want to carry the mighty Von Karma name and not be squished under it, you'd better work extra hard just like these ants.
The same goes for you, Francisca.
That's crazy.
Handprint! The dirt on this bench. It smells like some sort of sweet substance.
I can't believe there's someone going around dirtying the courthouse. For shame!
Calm down, Francisca. Now, take a good look. Doesn't this smudge look kind of like a handprint to you?
I suppose it could be.
Which means that perhaps we can lift the prints of the person who sullied this bench.
I see. And then we'll know the identity of our mystery slob.
You there, the lab technician. Could you please find out who this handprint belongs to? Sir! Yes, sir! I've got the results of the fingerprint analysis, sir! And do we know who they belong to? Sir, the fingerprints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Oh, interesting. Good work, officer.
Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints left on the hallway bench. Dark smudge emits the scent of sweet sugar. And there you have it.
Yes, I suppose so.
Now we know the identity of the person who dirtied the bench!
I sense that you and I will be using this information in very different ways.
That's crazy. What are these black speckles?
I believe it's a pile of ants eating away.
Ugh, that detective! He claims that not a single ant slipped by him, and yet here's a whole hill of them!
Nah! What are you hitting me for?
As a replacement for that pathetic detective!
Perhaps I should add this deduction to the detective's growing tab of pay cuts.
Anyway, I wonder what the ants are eating.
From the look of and sweet smell of it, pieces of cake and chocolate from a Swiss roll.
Miles Edgeworth, the courthouse is to be kept pristine at all times.
Whoa! It wasn't me that dropped food on the ground.
The courthouse must be kept clean. That's crazy. Okay, let's see. Connect.
This pink rubbery substance. I saw this in a different form earlier today. I believe this is a piece of a pop balloon.
I suppose that's possible.
The balloon probably got a little too close to our friend, the windowsill cactus.
That would be the logical conclusion, yes. I just know I've seen a pink balloon around, found on windowsill of hallway window.
These bits of chocolate and cake. Could they not have come from a Swiss roll?
A Swiss roll? Why would a courthouse sell a thing like that?
It may not seem like the right venue, however it is being sold right over there.
The vending machine? Ah, I see. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these. 2 for $6! Talk about expensive.
Leaving the fact that it's on the expensive side aside, the fact that the cake crumbs and chocolate bits were found in this hallway suggests that they came from a Swiss roll that was purchased from this machine.
Yay.
I think I have a pretty clear picture of what happened here now.
Naturally. After all, I'm here, aren't I?
Detective Gumshoe must have sat on this bench as he ate a Swiss roll.
No, he's so cute.
And then as he ate, he dropped it on the floor and sullied the bench.
Left left of the hallway bench, Detective Gumshoe apparently sat here as he ate a Swiss roll. Ah! How could he have not cleaned up after himself? How utterly despicable.
Don't you dare whip me again. It wasn't I who made the mess in the first place. Anyway, if it was indeed Detective Gumshoe who bought the Swiss roll, that creates a rather interesting contradiction of facts.
A contradiction? Where?
I think another look at the special courthouse vending machine is in order.
$6 deduce. Gumshoe's pay bonus.
About Detective Gumshoe's finances. He said that until this morning, he didn't have even a single penny on his personage.
Just how poor is that guy?
If his bonus really was only $5, then he should not have been able to purchase a pack of Swiss rolls. However, facts being as they are, we found cake crumbs on the floor.
Meaning Scruffy must have bought a pack somehow?
Indeed. That detective should not have been able to purchase a pack, and yet he did. The question is, how?
Swiss roll dropped by the mysterious young girl. It's priced at 2 for $6. Yay!
Your Honor, I'd like to ask you a few questions if you don't mind. Where were you at the time of the murder?
Do you suspect me of something?
No, nothing of the sort, Your Honor.
Very well. You may continue with your testimony.
Your Honor, it is your testimony that I'm after.
Oh! I had no idea you were chasing after me or my testimony.
I'm beginning to sense that I might want to avoid being in a trial run by this judge.
Oh, buddy, you don't even know. Let's see here. Now then, how should I put this? When you get to be my age, you need to pay more frequent visits to the restroom. If you take a look through the window at the end of this hall, you'll see a small window. That is the window to the men's restroom.
That is odd.
In other words, you can see clearly into this hallway from the men's restroom. I was going to the restroom. That detective, Gumshoe, was it? Well, he was standing in front of the vending machines buying something from it. However, and this I couldn't believe, when I was about to exit the restroom, there was not a soul in the hallway anymore.
Your Honor, if you could please calm down and explain it to me rationally.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Please let me regain my composure. It was really suspicious. That's what my finely honed judge's intuition said. Although, well, until the murders occurred, I just sort of brushed it off. Oh.
Apparently, this judge doesn't understand the concept of staying calm. The restroom window, huh? Wonder if you can really see the men's bathroom window from that one there.
Oh. I wonder if you can really see the men's bathroom window from that one there.
You can. I'm looking at it right now.
I demand that you show me this view at once!
I suspect that her height is what is limiting her ability to see. That's probably all I'm going to find out from His Honor.
Mr. Edgeworth, may I return to my other duties now?
Yes, I'm sorry to have held you up. Thank you for your cooperation, Your Honor.
Anytime, Mr. Edgeworth, anytime.
The judges in this country seem rather friendly.
Yes, if not a little wishy-washy. However, I hear that they are known to hand down very fair verdicts.
I want Edgeworth to pick Francie up so she can look out the window! Even if it's kind of weird that she wants to look into a bathroom. Specifically the men's bathroom.
Detective Bad, I have something I wish to inquire about.
Hey, how about doing some actual work, you?
I wish to inquire into Detective Gumshoe's movements during the recess.
Getting in the way of the investigation.
I have an order from Mr. Von Karma himself. Plus, I still hold investigative authority. So I hear you were the one who called for Detective Gumshoe to come down here.
Faraday. That guy was just accused, you know. I just knew something was gonna happen. My detective's instinct told me.
So I looked it up, Francis. It says some iteration of the word fool 150 times across the original trilogy. Let's go! I love her for that. A lot of good it did you. You couldn't even protect one lone prosecutor with it.
Hold it! Francisca, I think you need to apologize.
I'm sorry.
I'm terribly sorry, Detective Bad. Please continue.
I used the phone on the first floor and called the precinct. I told him to send somebody over. And that detective's the one that showed up.
And only upon his arrival did you set Detective Gumshoe to stand guard, Detective Bad.
Yeah, I waited for him on the first floor. After he got here, we came up to these defendant lobbies together. As we entered the hallway, we ran into you. She told us that Faraday was really mad, and that he dragged Rel off to lobby number 2 to have a word or something. And that Faraday had said to not let anyone interrupt him. But what choice did I have? All I could do was tell the big lug to stand guard outside.
And around what time did all of that take place?
Let's see, I think it was about 30 minutes before I heard the gunshot. After giving the big lug his assignment, he never left the hallway, not once.
Oh, and how can you make such a claim?
Across 53 unique lines of dialogue, which means she says fool an average of about 3 times each dialogue. Peak. Peak.
One of the guards out in this floor's main lobby swore to me he didn't.
If the detective never left the hallway, then where did he disappear off to?
That's simple. He must have gone into lobby number 2, just as I suspected.
You and I, we were in lobby number 1 next door. The only one without an alibi is Gumshoe.
It would seem that I'm still missing some key pieces of information. Detective Bad, you also heard the gunshot, did you not?
Yeah, I heard it when I was in defendant lobby number 1. That's why I came running towards the lobby number 2 together with you.
How much time elapsed between you hearing the gunshot and your arrival on the scene?
Less than a minute.
What were your movements upon hearing the gunshot?
I grabbed the big lug who was just walking around in the hall and raced into lobby number 2. And that's when we discovered the bodies, in that order.
That makes you the discoverer of the crime scene, right?
Yeah, I guess it does, little miss.
I'm about to become a prosecutor very soon. You will treat me with the dignity I deserve or else.
You wave that thing around anymore, and I'll have you arrested for obstruction, little miss.
You wouldn't dare.
Ha ha. Just joking.
Gah!
Detective Bad is really something if he can make Francisca behave.
Are we about done?
Is there anything else I should ask him about?
Situation around the gunshot?
I'd like to know a little more about the circumstances under which you heard the gunshot.
Like I said, I was in lobby number 1 with you. I have nothing else to add.
Well, his testimony certainly corroborates with what Miss Yu said.
Miles, you already asked him about that, remember?
I suppose I should ask about something else.
Time.
I'd like for you to tell me the exact time you heard the gunshot.
It was around the end of the recess, and the trial was about to start again, I think. He was supposed to make time for himself to transfer the evidence he was holding. But I got the sense he wasn't going to show for the handoff, so I figured I should go get him or he'd be late. And just as I thought that, bang, the sound of a gunshot hit my eardrums.
So you heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to restart, huh?
Heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again.
Are we done here? I don't have any time to waste.
Oh, come on. All you're doing is standing in front of this door doing nothing.
Get the sense that he is somewhat investigating this crime scene, or rather, that he's keeping us under surveillance. But to what end? Detective Bad, may I ask that you cooperate with us for just a bit longer?
I don't have anything else to say to the two of you. You guys were the ones who said you wanted to investigate in the first place.
Fine then, be obstinate. We'll just do as we please. Come on, Miles.
You may no longer be willing to help us, however. May I ask for the forensic scientist's cooperation?
Do as you like.
Yippee!
I believe I now have a very firm grasp on what has happened here.
Ah! Well, I do too!
All right, Francisca. Would you care to share what conclusions you've come to?
Why should I do that? We're still in the middle of a competition, you know. We should be checking to see if your conclusions are wrong first, so you go ahead.
It's almost cute that she's going this far to ensure that she wins. Almost. Very well, but first we need to pay His Honor a visit to correct his testimony. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to test your witness testimony to see how it stands up.
You doubt me? Am I your new suspect?
In a sense, I suppose you could say that.
Even you, a judge.
are nothing but a common witness before a Von Karma. Silence in the courtroom. Silence, I say. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Manfred Von Karma. This is, by Manfred Von Karma, Miles Edgeworth, and Miss Genius Prosecutor Successor to Manfred Von Karma, Francis.
You bit your tongue again, didn't you?
As a defender of the law, I can never give false testimony. You can even place me under oath if you want.
Very well, then. Your testimony, if you please.
What I saw at recess. During the recess, I went to the restroom. There's a window on the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway. As I entered, I saw that detective buying something from the vending machine. But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. A detective that goes missing while on duty. That sounds mighty suspicious to me.
Your Honor, can you please... Can you please try to remain calm?
Oh, I'm so used to simply listening to testimonies that I got caught up in the excitement. Very sus.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to spoil your fun now.
Let's go. Okay, I went to the restroom. There's a window. In other words, I could see into the hallway. As I entered, I saw the detective buying something from the vending machines. Okay, but he can't afford anything there. Objection. No money on him until he cashed this. Priced at 2 for $6. Okay. But, like, what am I supposed to... Maybe I press this.
Hold it!
Are you sure that the person you witnessed was Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor?
Yes, I'm absolutely sure. It's hard to miss someone of his stature, even from as far away as the restroom. Besides, I can't think of anyone else with that kind of hairstyle and big beige coat.
Well, I was simply wondering if you were mistaken in what you saw.
What? Preposterous! My eyes are as sharp as can be, ready to see through lies to the truth. Although, recently, things do seem to be a bit fuzzier than they used to be.
Clearly, his eyes are not the only things that have gone fuzzy.
But allow me to say with all the honor and dignity of a judge, I am not mistaken in what I saw. Okay. In that case... $6. Nope. 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 Maybe the paycheck? Present. Paycheck. Nope. Okay. I guess we continue then. No. Okay, he disappeared. Press.
He disappeared. But, Your Honor, didn't you just say, I saw that detective buying something from the vending machines?
Why, yes, I did. The restroom window looks over the courtyard and right into the hallway. But just as I was about to exit, I took another look and there was no one in sight. That led me to the only solution to this mystery. That detective must have gone into the crime scene, lobby number 2 at that point!
So he looked into the hallway from the restroom and over the courtyard, did he?
Okay. Save. Present. Bench stain. Aha! Well, what was that finger wag for, Mr. Edgeworth? And don't you know it's rude to shout objection while someone is giving testimony?
If you truly are a man of the law, then you must always be vigilant. For example, I never let an opportunity to shout objection pass me by.
Miles Edgeworth, it's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is real life.
This is what some people may say is the pot calling the kettle black. Your Honor, I wonder if you might take a look at this for me.
What is that filth? How dare someone dirty the hallway bench like that? Who is the culprit? That party is hereby found guilty of uncleanliness.
If you must know, the uncouth bench sullier has already been placed under arrest thanks to your earlier testimony, Your Honor.
Oh, well, that's good, but who was it?
We were able to discover something from the smudge on the bench, namely Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints.
Not happy with committing just murder. He had to go and dirty the courthouse too? Guilty!
Your Honor, please calm down. While it's true that the detective is the one who made the mess on the bench, we have not yet established that this action is related to the double murder.
What do you mean?
I believe that the detective bought a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine, and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one. The cake crumbs and pieces of chocolate on the floor under the bench, and Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints prove my conclusion to be true.
Oh, but I still don't understand. Is this whole thing related to how I couldn't see him as I was leaving the restroom?
It is indeed. The window in the hallway was built rather high up into the wall, at around a grown adult's chest height. As evidence, I submit that Franziska herself was unable to see out of that window.
Whoa!
I knew I shouldn't have used her height as evidence. Basically, what this means is that the area directly under the hallway window is a blind spot when the hallway is being viewed from the men's restroom.
Then...
It seems that you have made the connection. If someone were to sit on the bench under the window, yes, even someone as large as Detective Gumshoe would effectively disappear from sight.
What?
Do you finally see it, Your Honor? Your testimony has just proven that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway the entire time.
Ah, sorry. I didn't mean to say it with that much enthusiasm. All I wanted to do was try saying it once. Here, let me try that again. Hold it! Oh, it was hold it, not objection.
Is there something of value that you'd like to say?
Yes, actually, there is. I remember something else just now. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to the court one more time. Even if we overruled him, he'd just keep talking, wouldn't he?
That might not be a bad thing. The more info, the better in a perfect investigation, right?
But I saw part 2. Suppose it is possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom window. However, that doesn't mean that the detective was sitting there when I looked. Anyway, I forgot to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. As I was leaving the restroom, I heard the loud bang of a gunshot. Urgh. How was that? That is the testimony of one who judges the crimes of others.
Your Honor, could you try to state the important facts first next time?
I agree. Before you go around judging others, you should learn to judge your own words. Eek! I'm sorry. But honestly, I thought the sound was just a noise popper until just now.
Now that he mentions it, right before we restarted the trial, he did talk about that.
Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson...
The most critical point in this argument is when did the judge look into the hallway, and whether that lines up with when the gun was actually fired. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to clarify a few details in your testimony.
Let's go. Yappy.
Hold
it!
Your Honor, about what you just said.
I know, I couldn't believe it myself, but bang went the gunshot. And then I just had a...
Bro, calm down!
But I heard it. Bang went the gunshot. I heard it loud and clear. And then I had a knee-jerk reaction. Ah! And jumped into the air. Like this. Yes, just like this. With a quick ah!
Your Honor, please remain calm when you're trying to explain yourself to me.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Now then, I must gather myself. Yes. When I heard the gunshot, there was no one in the hall. I should know. I looked. There was no one there.
This judge's emotion circuits appear to be stuck on overreact.
At this point, nothing stands out to me as a contradiction in his testimony.
Franziska, if I'm correct, this testimony is hardly precision quality.
I know that. And that's why I said, at this point.
I think my first line of attack will be to draw more information from His Honor.
Hold it!
As we established, you went to the restroom during the recess. However, at what point in the recess did you look into the hallway?
After I called for a recess, I handled the change of prosecutor paperwork. Maybe about 20 minutes until we reconvened. Yes, that sounds about right.
Just as I expected.
What were you expecting? And I demand to know what that all-knowing smile is for.
Your Honor, that statement you made just now is very important. I'd like for you to append it to your testimony.
All right, if you insist. I looked into the hallway about 20 minutes before we reconvened. Aha! Time. Very important details. Present.
Your Honor.
I cannot allow you to make an objection.
What? Your Honor, I'm really sorry, but I cannot allow you to allow me to make an objection.
Egads! I've been overruled!
Your Honor, there are simply too many holes in your testimony for my taste.
What do you mean by that?
You claim that you heard the gunshot during the recess, but that is simply not possible.
Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Manfred von... Ah! Instead of biting your tongue, why don't you... bite your tongue on those preposterous names? Eek!
I see you have no mercy for the elderly either, Francisca.
Don't talk back to me unless you want to be whipped in the back.
With your height, you'd need a stepladder or 4 to accomplish that.
That's crazy! Mr. Edgeworth, my ears are not that far gone yet. I'll have you know, I can still hear just fine. And I heard the sound of a gunshot loud and clear with my own 2 ears.
Your Honor, I have here an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Bad, and according to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again.
What did you just say?
Your Honor, you just said that you heard the gunshot about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. How do you explain this glaring contradiction?
That can't be!
Unfortunately, that is the truth.
But I heard it as clear as day. Bang! The loud sound of a gunshot.
The sound of the gunshot. We keep returning to this point of contention. And that piece of evidence. I did always wonder why I found it where I did. However, now I understand what the gunshot the judge really heard was. Unfortunately, Your Honor, this is what really produced the gunshot you heard. Balloon! I found this object in the hallway earlier.
What is that pig substance?
Bubblegum! It may not look like it, but this is actually a piece of a balloon.
I see. And I suppose you would like me to accept that pig balloon into the court record.
Your Honor, I present this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony.
What?
Your Honor, your argument goes as follows. You saw no one in the hallway when you heard the gunshot. Now, there is no guarantee that the detective was sitting on the bench at that time. Therefore, you believe he must have been at the crime scene, defendant lobby number 2. Am I correct?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that the gunshot you heard was produced by a real gun? I think I've said enough that even you can figure out the rest on your own. Your Honor, you were fooled by the popping of this balloon into thinking it was a gunshot.
What manner of trickery is this? That was a good effort you put forth, Miles Edgeworth. But if it was me, I'd have wrapped things up before the judge even testified.
Care to elaborate on how one ends something before it even begins?
Well, to be honest, I did think the sound was a bit off from a real gunshot sound. Who would have guessed that someone would pop a balloon in a place like this?
That's true. One doesn't usually think balloons in conjunction with courthouse.
I want to trade these coins with you.
That's it. That balloon the girl was holding. It explains everything. Your Honor, if it makes you feel any better, you didn't lie once in your testimony. However, I can't really vouch for its accuracy.
Who knew that giving testimony could be such a difficult thing to do? What have I done? I owe Detective Gumshoe a very, very big apology. I will see to it myself that he is released.
Wait. There are still a few things I have yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. Your Honor, I request your permission to further question Detective Gumshoe.
But why? I thought we just cleared his name.
Whether we did just now or not, I still cannot say. The only thing I can do for now is to continue my quest for the perfect explanation. And to that end, I must resolve the remaining issues pertaining to the events that occurred in the hallway.
Very well. Bailiff, please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courtroom.
I must fulfill my mission and find the perfect explanation to this case.
Aren't you apologizing is something no one else does in Ace Attorney? Very true. Oh. He's a good guy. What is it now? Is it time for my trial already? I've already told you a gazillion times, pal. I didn't do it.
I'll be the judge of that, Detective Gumshoe.
No, you won't. I'll be the judge of that.
No, 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 no. I'm the judge around here, and I'll be the judge of that. Why can't you guys all be a little less judgmental?
Yes, well, speaking of hasty judgments, Detective Gumshoe, I'm afraid I must apologize for an error in judgment on my part.
Your Honor, I don't believe you should apologize just yet. We have yet to prove he is completely innocent of his crime.
I guess so.
Oh, what are you guys talking about?
In any case, I would like you to testify as to your actions while you were on guard duty. And please remember, you are not on trial. This is all just a part of the investigation. As such, you may still be found to be innocent. However, if you should give false testimony...
Yow!
My whip will object loud and clear.
If you are found to be lying, you will be held indefinitely. Understood?
I gotcha, pal.
Thinking back on the state of the crime scene and the judge's testimony, it's obvious that Detective Gumshoe is lying. And if I can't break his lie, then we may never get a break in this case.
While I was on duty.
Oh, but I think we're gonna stop here for today. My voice is very tired.
He's hurty. So, that is where we will pause. And let me see if I can send out a raid.